the struggling artist, or I ain't gonna say struggling, but an artist is trying to make it, whether it's acting, whether it's, hairstylist,
Mm-hmm.
you get into like this fog where you just don't know if this is gonna work, and bills are piling up, and then you don't you kind of like doubting yourself. Do you
Yeah.
have any gems or anything to help that person? Like, you know.
Oh yeah. Because faith is real. I'm gonna tell you that you have to believe. I don't tell people what to believe in as far as your higher power, but I know we all know as human beings that there's something way bigger than us.
Yeah.
So my dynamic is what my dynamic is. So for me, coming from a small city, coming from a place where they tell you that your best thing is to be a mother of somebody's wife, and you just that's your biggest goal. Having dreams and aspiration, God showed me as a young woman that I was going to be on TV. I seen it just as clear, and I used to think it was just a dream until I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing how I was being bumped into certain places, learning how to take and dance and learn tap and having opportunities to lead in different positions of plays. And my mom was a writer, being a teacher, writing things, and she would put me in places. As a child, I would step back and pay attention. I think a lot of times we don't pay attention to the journey. We so busy trying to get to the destination that we forget to pay attention to where we're at in the moment, in the now.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will give you, well, it gives me, because it's still ongoing for me. Even though I'm where I'm at, I still have that ego in me, like we all do, that is it do its job. Because a lot of people think ego is having, oh, I'm thinking this and I'm this and this and that. No,
Mhm.
God has programmed and put certain things in us to keep us in that right here.
Mm-hmm.
And an untamed ego can have you too high here to where you think you too much, you're unapproachable, you need nobody, this and that. And an untamed level on this side, committing suicide, self doubt, self hate, all these things. But when you have it together, you
Mhm.
flowing because you understand. And I didn't understand that until I got older, that how the ego work and how that voice in the back of your head will beat you up more than the people on the street will. And if
Mm-hmm.
you haven't really placed things, the right things in your eyesight, as far as education, learning, being around people that are doing what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
interning, those things, I started structuring myself around people that were doing things. So when you're seeing people move, it makes you excited to be able to start moving too, even if you don't really know where you want to be. I knew that
Mhm.
I wasn't going to end up just being a single mother,
Mm-hmm.
divorced with three kids in the projects. That wasn't going to be my end result. So for me, I wrote that thing down. What we gonna do, Mona B? We finna we gotta do what we need to do. And
Mm-hmm.
when he showed me that I could good with my hands, I made sure that I went to every lesson that even looked like hair. I still do it to this day. I know a lot of stuff, but I
Yeah.
still train. I still have all my mannequins. I when I'm off, I'm not off, because
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like when I heard Jordan's story back in the day, how what separated Jordan was Jordan got up every day instead of hanging out with his friends, he
Mhm.
was in the gym shooting. So
Mhm.
it comes what? It becomes memory. So my
Mm-hmm.
mom being a teacher, she said, you're gonna be the best at what you do. You learn everything about this thing. She said, you're
Yeah.
gonna do hair, you're gonna do it like no other. I find myself in there, click, 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 click. My friend, girl, child, y'all going on. Because I'm on a mission. You have to
Mm-hmm.
stay focused to if you know what you want and where you trying to go. I tell even my young kids that I mentor, write down what it is that you want to become.
Mm-hmm.
Once you write down or what you're passionate about, then the second category, write down what it takes to actually become that.
Mhm.
Then the next category, find out where you at. If you're young, talk to your parents about it. If you're a teenager, start seeing if they have programs at the schools and stuff like that. If you're an adult, seek out what type of classes or whatever these things or the people that's doing it that you can get around and start floating and being in this moment of learning.
Mhm.
So many people are doubting themselves because we don't actually put ourselves in position to really be able to grow. We'll sit up on these phones and look at everything but what we need to be looking at. We'll
Mhm.
get Instagram 12 hours talking about all the stuff that's happening in the news, but are you really focusing on where you're trying to go? I
Yeah.
tell
Mhm.
my students, you ain't got to do it every day. You can just do it an hour. An
Mhm.
hour of muscle memory will bring strength. You will eventually
Yes.
see more muscle than you will when you're not even putting in that work.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I would tell those that are trying to get in, especially acting, take acting classes. It's
Yeah.
so much at your disposal now, at your fingertips, that
Mhm.
you really don't have an excuse to not
Hmm.
really pursue behind anything you want.
Yeah.
Everything now is virtual after COVID. You wanna? I just was telling my son's girlfriend. She makes wigs. She just freelances and makes wigs. And I told her, I said, girl, why don't you go to school? And she was like, I don't have time. She came in there and said, she said, you know what? I went online. There's beauty school online. I said, bingo. I said, I want to see if you want it for yourself. I could
Mhm.
easily say, come on. No, you got to want it for yourself. And
Yeah.
you got to
Hmm.
put in that work. When you put in that work, God will boop. You will meet this person. That person will bump you. So to your listeners, know that if you put yourself in a $35 class, you get on an online class, you get on a free class, something that you may not even think is real beneficial, but it is. Every
Mhm.
little nugget that is associated with where you're trying to go, you need
Mhm.
to pursue that. You need to
Hmm.
Yeah.
Google, and Google will give you a list of this and print out paperwork, read, study, put
Mhm.
yourself in that position of growing into what you will want to become. And that self doubt, oh, you ain't gonna make it, because I hear it all the time. Every time I take a new job, every
Yeah.
time I come, the first day on set, the first day, you're gonna fail. You're gonna fail. But that's that survival mode that I lived in before I became who I am now. And I
Mhm.
tell that voice, shut up. That's why I'm here. And I'm finna go in here and knock this thing out too. And guess what happens? You have to tell that voice, because those are things that we have allowed, especially when we're sitting and watching these videos and we're listening to people. We don't
Mhm.
understand that we're feeding our psyche. We're feeding that ego, and that ego
Hmm.
will come back and throw regurgitate that crap back to you when you're
Mhm.
showing fear. So when they get together, then next thing you know, you got a demise. No,
Yeah.
when that thing come back at you because you didn't expose yourself, you guess what? Shh, shh, shh. Spray that hater off in your head. Tell that hater
Mhm.
go, because we got business to do. And yes, maybe nobody look like me doing what I'm doing, but guess what? I'm gonna be that person.